In my last email, I sent a link to a spreadsheet of process names that were organized into 4 different functions, the 4 key functions of all businesses. Basically, getting the business, these are all of your sales and marketing processes. Doing the business, these would be all of your processes for client fulfillment, customer service. Running the business, these are all of your back office operational procedures, finance, admin, HR, IT, and guiding the business. These would be all the processes for strategy and management. If you need to get that list again, there's a link in this email that you can click, but most likely you've got it already and you've hopefully gone through it, deleted the process names and the objectives that you don't need, and added the ones that you thought were relevant to your business. The report looks like this. That spreadsheet looks like this, and you'll see that there are links for guiding the business, getting the business, running the business, doing the business. And you'll see that there are sub-functions within guiding the business. These are processes for strategy. These are processes for employee management. These are processes for directors, and there's a name of a process and a description. And that last email went through all of this. In this next step, you're going to start matching up these process names with the positions that you've created on the org chart. So the first thing I want you to do is click here. You can insert a column, and let's type in position name. Then you want to look at each process, so strategic planning. Look at each process and decide which position on your org chart needs to do this process. Now, for this to make sense, that position needs to be on your org chart. And by that I mean, don't type into the spreadsheet the position name supervisor when the box on your org chart is called project manager. If you don't have the title supervisor on your org chart, then find the position name that fits. So, for example, let me log into my TouchStone account. And I'm looking at this org chart, and I'm thinking, well, the people that need to be part of my strategic planning process are president, manager of marketing and sales, manager of operations, and manager of finance. So I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to type in here, president, manager of marketing and sales, etc. Right? I'm going to put in those positions right there. Sorry, I put this in the wrong place. And then if I had been doing this previously, I would have thought, well, I don't need this process. I don't need this process. Delete those. And company development meetings, yeah, that's really just the president that does those, etc. So I'm going to go through each one of these processes and decide which position on my organization chart actually needs this process. Now, note that you can add processes to multiple positions. However, if the position is responsible for the process to happen but doesn't actually do the process, it doesn't get linked to that position. So for example, let's say you have a process called mop the floor. I mean, this is a silly example, but it's relevant. It's the responsibility of the office manager to make sure that the floors are clean and mopped, but it's the warehouse assistant's job to actually mop the floor. In other words, the office manager doesn't usually mop the floor unless, of course, the warehouse assistant is sick or on vacation or simply too busy, and then maybe the office manager jumps in and does it. But it's not really the job of the office manager to mop the floor. In that instance, the process gets linked to the warehouse assistant, but it is not linked to the office manager's position because the office manager can actually access the process from the warehouse position's job description. Okay, so once all of your processes have been matched up on your spreadsheet, then you're going to log into your TouchStone account and link them up. I'm going to come in here to my TouchStone account and I'm going to link up that strategic planning. So this process isn't part of our system yet. So I'm going to come in here and click Add New Process. And again, I gave you some instructions on how to do this from the list previously. Now you'll notice that it shows up here. I'm going to click on it, and it's really valuable to now add the objective. So I'm going to come back to the process list, and I'm just going to come in here and grab this information, copy it, and go back to my TouchStone account, and I'm going to paste it in that right there. Notice that I added this a moment ago to the president, but remember I said that I needed it to go also on the manager of marketing and sales, the manager of operations, and the manager of finance and administration. These are the 3 positions that also need this process. So to do that, you simply come up to this link, and I can say, okay, this person needs it, this person needs it, and this position needs it. And then I can click close, or I can close up here. If I click this and said, oh wait, no, this guy doesn't need it, just click it again, and it goes from orange to gray. Orange means it is currently on the box on the org chart that you clicked. Try this one more time. Let's use that example of mop the floor. Now, first of all, I don't have a position called office managers, but and I also right now on my org chart, I don't have a warehouse manager, but I'm going to add a warehouse manager assistant. Warehouse assistant, I think is what it was called. And then I'm going to add a new process, and I'm going to type in here, mop the floor. And I'm going to hit save. And now you'll notice that here's the process. Best practice is to click on this process and click under here and write a sentence or two that describes the purpose of having this process. Something like that. So maybe in this case, it is something like to mop the warehouse and lunchroom floors at the end of each day to ensure the office is clean at the beginning of the following day, and then click save. If this is the only person that needs this process, you're done. That's good. And what's actually happening as we add processes, this is pretty cool, you're actually building position-specific operating manuals. So a moment ago, you'll notice that I added the strategic planning process to the president's position, but remember, I also added it to each of these other positions. So now if I go back to my org chart, and if I click over here on Manager of Marketing and Sales, you'll see that that process, strategic planning, was actually linked to this position as well. As you link processes to other boxes on your org chart, you're actually creating a position-specific operating manual.